And some of it is happening because you rely on other people.
Mm.
You're relying on other resources that God done told you not to do.
Mm.
So that's why certain things is happening the way it's happening right now in the spiritual realm. Okay? The spiritual realm, our worldly realm, and within ourselves. That's why some of these things are happening today. Okay? Now I'm going to go to slide 5. Before I go there, 2 Kings, I don't need y'all to go there, but I'm just going to describe the story real quick. 2 Kings 6:11-17. That story was concerning, I always get their names. It's not Elijah, it's Elisha. Did I pronounce that? Elisha? Elijah?
Elijah and Alicia? Alicia?
Elisha.
Alicia?
Yes. Always.
Or Elisha. Some people just say it like that.
It's not J-A-H. It's L-I-S-H-A.
Yeah, some people call it Alicia or Elisha.
Okay.
Elijah and
I like that one better.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Elijah. Okay. Elijah was, I don't know if many people know, but Elijah was a prophet of God. And in this scenario right here, God had used him to show somebody else that didn't really have that faith and really didn't understand what was going on at that point. This story stuck out the most to me because it was a war that was going on between two kings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But like I said, Elijah was the prophet of God. And he seen things before the person the king that he was under, he was the spokesman for the king basically. He seen things before the king. So he would go to the king and say, okay, this is what's going on. Such and such is coming. And the king on the other side, he's like, hold up, well, somebody reported that somebody told the other king. He's like, hold up, how did he know what's going on? We need to get him. We need to get him. So he sent his troopers out to go get Elijah. And with Elijah, he had a servant, and he was scared. Elijah said, there's no point in being scared. Don't be scared. And Elijah prayed to show the servant what he sees. Okay? And that's what God did. And God only did it because it was the prophet of him. Like, he was his prophet. He believed. He understood what was going on. If Elijah didn't understand what was going on, God wouldn't have showed him either. God wouldn't have showed him. He couldn't show him because he didn't understand. He would have been scared just along with the servant. Okay? Now, he opened doors to the point that the servant was able to believe, and then he even opened doors to the enemy to the point that he fed his enemies and sent them back. Okay? He even asked God, blind my enemies, basically. Blind them.
Right.
And that's what God did. He blinded them. And Elijah actually sent them to, where did he send them? He sent them to a whole different state, city. Okay? He sent them somewhere else. Okay? And fed them. And some people, they didn't understand why did you feed them? Are we supposed to feed them? Are we supposed to do this? Are we supposed to do that? Yes. God, because his faith was like, okay, yes. His faith was at a point that he understood. That's what I'm trying to get to, y'all. He understood. Okay, he didn't have no fear. Because, honey, if you come in and you're in a war, you can't have no fear. You can't have fear. Because you in fear, honey, they're going to get you. Elijah showed no fear. Because he believed in the God that he served. He believed that God had never failed him nor forsaken him ever. He believed he never let him down. So because he believed it, and because his faith was where apart, he could understand. And he calmed down the servant, and asked God, opened up his eyes so he can see what I am seeing right now. And that's what God did. Like I said, the servant, after, the prophet did, moved him somewhere else, the servant's still like, do we still gotta feed him? We still gotta, eat with him? But it's because of where his faith was at. He was able to see, he was able to do, and he believed, basically, okay? I'm going to go to the world league. That's slide 5. We are not called to be of the world or worldly. but we are sent in the world to be a witness of Jesus Christ. Okay? Now, if y'all are salty, the word of God. Okay. If y'all are stumbling, if y'all don't believe in what you're saying, what you're doing, if you don't believe in what you're supposed to be believing in, how can any of us be ambassadors of Christ? None of us can minister or witness to any soul on the outside if we do not believe what we're speaking and what we're supposed to be walking. Because this is a walk. Being saved is a walk of faith. It's a walk. It's a journey. So if you don't believe it, how can we be examples to anybody that's on the outside? Because what happens in the spiritual realm that most of y'all, most of us don't understand, if we don't believe, that's where the tug of war is at. It's a tuggle. Okay? You trying to pull them this way, but they trying to get you that way. And you see how their life is. Oh, well, it looks a little better that way. But in the spiritual realm, something ain't right. Because evidently you're not believing what you are preaching. If you're feeling that tuggle so far or so bad that you going where they going, oh, they watching. And they looking. And then you say, oh, come to church with me. They gonna look at you like you crazy. Come to church with me? What? You just like me. You're doing the same thing I'm doing. The only thing different you're doing is going to church.
Right.
So, what's so different? But God said we're supposed to be set apart from the world. Because we're supposed to be different. I don't know if any of y'all have ever experienced somebody that's actually not saved. They probably been to church here and there, but they're not saved. And then you just get saved, but you still doing a little bit stuff that you still was doing before you got saved. And they still looking at you and be like, you fake. And then you like, oh, that's a war. Because what the enemy is trying to do is try to distract you from what you're believing in. Everybody has, this is what I want y'all to understand, everybody has, when they first get saved, even after they're saved, whatever, they can be saved for years. Every last one of us has some kind of struggle, some kind of insecurity, some